Excellent. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Zoom call for the Wealth Warriors community, the Wealth Warriors team. This is the culmination of something I've been working on probably without realizing it, just been nudged along in this direction for quite a long time, probably a couple of years or so. And as I got closer and closer, it all just kind of crystallized in my mind exactly what we need to do as a community to make money from this space, this time, this space-time, if you like, because it's an unprecedented period in history when you and I should be able to make huge amounts of income, financial security, create wealth, generational wealth to pass on to future generations. This should all be available to us because right now, the way that the technology is, the way the world is working, the way the world has got so much smaller with the internet, and wealth has become much more accessible with cryptocurrency, you and I should really be just raking it in. And of course, most of us aren't. Very few people are. And I suspect even those who say they aren't doing anywhere near as well as they say they are. So I've been kind of looking into all this to find out what's going on and what we can do about it. So I've put together a presentation I think you're going to like. It's the way that I believe that we need to go, and anybody who wants to make money in this space needs to go in a similar direction. We can't rely on anybody except our own selves, our own community, our sense of spirit. And I think what's going to be the determining factor as to whether we succeed or not is how well we as a community get along, work together, do the things we should to support each other. I think that's going to be the determining factor, not what percentage we get on a platform or what mechanism is used to actually create the money, because those things will come and go. As a community, I'd like to say we're here to stay. I believe we're here to stay because I believe that this is the answer to the problem. I'll outline in a minute what the problem exactly is. So I'm here to stay, and hopefully by the time I finish this presentation, you'll feel the same way as well. So let's let Gregory in. Do you let Gregory in, Walter? I'll let Gregory in. And I'm going to share my screen and we'll get this show on the road. Okay, so welcome to Wealth Warriors. Some of you know that I like this tagline, financial freedom fighters, because freedom fighters we consider to be the underdogs fighting against the oppressive regime, the dictatorial fascist regime. And the more I look into this, and you may not be a great believer in conspiracy theories, but I suspect over the next few years, even if you're the most diehard pragmatic person, you will become a lot more aware of how close a lot of these conspiracy theories are to the truth. And so I think that's us. This is us trying to fight for our financial freedom against all the odds, because the odds shouldn't be there. The odds should be in our favor, but there are certain things happening to prevent that, to prevent you and I from making money in this space, which, as I said before, we should be able to do. So what's the problem with online businesses? Because if we want to come up with a solution, we've got to clearly understand what the problem is. And there's a number of things. One is, what do we want? Money. Yes, we want money. It's not the most important thing. A billionaire friend of mine says that money is not important. I just put it right up there with oxygen. If you want to do anything in this life, you need to have some money so that you can exchange it for the things you need in order to do the things you want. And what we want is passive income from a product, and we also want commissions from building a team. And the reason I've identified both of those is because we don't need to do both. We can just get a passive income from a product and forget building a team. Not forget, just don't do it. Although I'm going to try and put together an argument later for why, maybe not immediately and maybe not very quickly, but over a period of time, you will acquiesce and work with us to build, to put together a team, because there's a lot of people out there who need help and support from us. And as long as we're not making a mad dash for the next 6 months and then everything may go horribly wrong, it's going to be worth investing some time and effort into building a team. And I'm more than happy to help you do that. But we also want passive income from the product. And what do we actually get in today's world? We keep paying out again and again on a product that just doesn't deliver, whether it's a trading system that doesn't deliver, or an actual product that you wear on your wrist, or eat, or whatever it is, and it just doesn't deliver what it's supposed to. And we continue to pay out over and over and over again. We get a compensation plan that's designed to minimize your rewards. Okay, a binary structure or force matrix or something like this is designed for the company to keep more of the money that you've earned. And they're upfront about it. They're quite honest about it. But that doesn't make it right. I think that if you've helped create some rewards, you should be entitled to those rewards, not through some machinations of control of the comp plan system that you can only get paid out on 10% of your weaker leg, or whatever the nonsense is. We don't need any of that. Restrictions on withdrawal or times or amounts. So you say, well, I've earned all this money, now I'd like to have it. Well, I've got to wait until the weekend before I can put in a withdrawal request, and then that'll be processed within 72 hours. So the money I want today, I won't get until a week on Wednesday. So that's not right. If you've earned the money, you should be able to get hold of the money there and then. No, it's not always possible to tie up with platforms that do that, but that's what we want. That's what we'd like to have, is less restrictions on withdrawal times and amounts. What else do we want? We want security of income. But what do we actually get? We get companies that disappear with everyone's money, losing the asset that you've created by building up your passive business. Okay, so very often what we teach is that you get into a platform, you recover your seed money initially, and then from that point on, you take out half and put half back in to grow your asset. And even if you've taken out quite a lot of money, but that 50% coming out turns out to be quite a lot of money, you've actually earned all of it. So when the people run away with your money, it hurts. It's half of what you've earned. Okay, so it's not. If you've done it properly, it won't break the bank, but it's annoying because it's your money, it's your time and effort that's gone towards building that, and that's your plan for the future. Now you've got to start again. We end up with companies that destroy your relationships with friends and families that you introduced to those platforms that disappeared through absolutely no fault of your own. Okay, and it's almost legendary. It's almost well, I suppose a cliche, where people in network marketing say, "Oh, well, my friends and my family don't talk to me anymore. I've burned through them." Well, it shouldn't be like that. It should be that we can introduce people to something and help them make money, even if it takes over quite a long period of time. We shouldn't have to lose our relationships with our friends and family, but because we're trying to help them do something. We end up with companies that destroy. Sorry, I've said that. We end up with despair, despondency, disillusionment, and dejection, rather than excitement and enthusiasm and excited about life. So what else do we want from our online business? We want financial freedom. Well, what do we get? If we've got the mental fortitude to keep getting back up, we end up with just another job trying to motivate and encourage others not to give up. Okay, so rather than have an exciting business, an exciting team of people, or working hard towards the future, everybody's looking over their shoulder, just waiting for the rug to be pulled yet again. And again, we don't want that. We have a constant resetting of the counters back to zero. This is the most soul-destroying thing of all. So when I say soul-destroying, I don't mean that literally. I mean that as a metaphor for just something that's very, very annoying. But when one of these companies pulls the rug, you go back to zero income and zero downline in our next venture. So we might have spent a year building a group of a few hundred people, and then the rug gets pulled and all of that work is gone. all of the work to build your passive income, to build your compensation plan income, and to build your own team of people that you like to have around you. So we wanted financial freedom, but we've ended up with all this other rubbish that we didn't want. We want peace of mind. We want no worry. And I think if you were to ask most people that get into businesses like this, they want peace of mind. And do we ever get it? Not really, no. I would say no, we don't. We get a constant struggle to maintain a positive attitude. We get constant worry about the money we've been cheated out of. We get constant guilt about the people we've let down. And even if it wasn't people in our team, you know, I know plenty of people who've put money into programs, and when it failed, the wife goes crazy, the husband goes crazy. You know, and in some cases it can be the straw that breaks the camel's back in terms of the relationship. So we get despair that we keep starting again at the bottom. It is hard to dust yourself off and pick yourself up and do it all over again. It's hard, and it doesn't have to be that way. And we get we rationalize our dreams and goals to fit our current income. So the first platform we get in, we're going to be a millionaire in the first 2 years. So our dreams and goals are for the things we want, the people we want to help, the lifestyle we want to lead. And then that goes, and we get into another platform that's maybe not quite as good. So we cut down on our dreams. And after a few of those, we're thinking, well, maybe if I can just make enough money that I can supplement my income by a couple of $1,000s a month, that'll be good enough. Maybe that's all I deserve. Okay, so there's a big discrepancy between what we want and what we get. And I'm making this sound really really desperate, and I'll tell you why in a minute. We'll become clear in a minute. So what do we want? We want the ability to leave a legacy. Somebody once said that life is about four L's: to live, to love, to laugh, and to leave a legacy. And most of us have an innate drive to leave a legacy. That's why we have children. That's why we build things that we hope are going to outlast us. We write poetry, we create pieces of art. Okay, we have friendships because we want those things to outlast us. We want to leave a legacy. And most of us want to do something financially that are going to benefit future generations, if not our future generations, and leave a large amount of money to cancer research or to dogs trust to look after dogs after we've gone, and all these things. So that's a very powerful force in a human being, the desire to leave a legacy, for people to know that we were here. We didn't just turn up and eat our bit of food and drink our bit of milk and breathe our bit of air. We actually did something to help other people, to affect other people, to make a dent in the world. And also the ability to support in a significant way causes that we believe in. Okay, whether it's charities, or whether it's churches or outreach programs, or whatever it is, we want to, you know, that's a big driving force for a lot of people as well. Well, what do we get? That's what we want. What do we get? Well, we get despair every time the rug gets pulled, just when we felt we were getting somewhere. We get even more guilt that we're letting down the people that we so desperately want to help. And we get mental pressure. This is the biggest source of mental pressure, where people feel that they get depressed when a business venture fails, because they made promises, if not physically, if not actually talking to people, making promises about money they were going to donate to things. They did in their heart, they did in their mind. They had all these plans when they had more money than they needed, what they were going to do with all the rest of it. And that's a direct line into depression. So, you know, we definitely don't want that. And it's actually easier for people to give up on their dreams and goals, give up on online businesses, and just go back to working your job 9 to 5 till you're 67 years old, when the free money starts. And, you know, and that's it. The one chance we had to make a difference, because we're not coming this way a second time. I'd argue with the Buddhists about that, but I'm pretty certain we're not coming back this way a second time. So this is our one chance to do it. And what do? We put our time and effort and energy into something through no fault of ours. It fails. So what's happening here? Why does that happen? There's a number of reasons. There are forces at work that are conspiring against you. And like I said just now, I don't want to go into conspiracy theories, but if you don't believe in conspiracy theories, just indulge me that I believe in them, and I have absolute evidence that they exist. that there are things happening behind the scenes being done by people like the World Economic Forum and George Soros and different governments, different factions within governments that are designed to make sure you and I struggle to make money. They don't want the powers that be don't want you and I to be successful financially or in any other way. If you look at the way the whole system's set up, the whole schooling system is set up to teach people how to be good workers and good consumers. Get out there, work hard for 45 or 50 years of your life, and spend money on the things that we tell you to spend money on. And like I said, I'm not going to convince you of that. I'm just saying that there are forces at work against you. And if you don't believe me, one piece of rhetoric, if you like, that I could use is that there are departments within governments whose job is to stop people being scammed online. The SEC, the FCA, and so on. So when they come across a scam, what they do is they shut it down. Have you ever heard of them taking all of that money off of the scammers and giving it back to you and me? I've never heard of it. I've heard all these scammers keep phoning up saying, "Oh, we've been appointed by this court, or the FBI told us to give you your money back." No, they haven't. It's all a load of rubbish. It's just more things that are designed to take your money off you. So these forces ensure that scam businesses are successful at taking as much money as possible from ordinary people. But when there are legitimate businesses, and there are some legitimate businesses that have come your way, okay, they suffer cyber attacks, they suffer problems with their real world applications like massive market manipulation in crypto or in Forex or whatever else is happening, and or problems with government regulators. So they get shut down. So even though we're a perfectly legitimate business, and I know of 4 in the last year that are perfectly legitimate businesses that got shut down by the SEC in America. We were part of one of them. CMB, I believe, was exactly that. They were a perfectly legitimate business that got taken down by the government because they don't want us to succeed. They also poison the well across the whole industry as a deterrent to prevent people from even trying. You know, if you got a bucket full of crabs and one tries to climb out of the bucket, the others all pull him back in because, you know, we can't have somebody escape the rat race. I know that's a mixed metaphor, and I don't care. So the good news is, it's not your fault that you've been unsuccessful up till now. The bad news is these forces are very powerful indeed. You see them destroying banks, industries, whole countries in the real world. Okay, if a country doesn't like it, and I'm going to say something that you may not like, I'm not going to mention names, but there have been instances where when countries have rejected the central banking system put together by the Rothschilds and the Vanderbilts and the Rockefellers, the people that own the Bank of England and the Federal Reserve and so on, okay, countries have rejected them and they went to war. America, France, and England declared war on some of those countries and completely destroyed the country so that they can do regime change. And in fact, some of these countries you've seen our war on terror. Some of these countries in the Middle East were the target of this war on terror, even though they had nothing to do with terror at that time, because they rejected this central banking system. So they had to be subjugated. Okay, so these forces are very powerful indeed. In the online world, you see that even the largest players in the space are not beyond their reach. Binance and Coinbase got hauled over the coals earlier this year. They both had to change what they're doing, revamp, take on new people just to meet the compliance requirements. And the people who lose out are you and I, because now with our money going through Binance and Coinbase, there are certain things we can't do without it being reported back to the government. Okay, so these forces are real and they're operating in half in shadows. But the thing is, the problem won't fix itself. You can't fix the problem with the same mindset that allowed the problem to affect you previously. You need to plan things better and then execute your plan. So the first thing is figure out what's going wrong and why is it going wrong, which is what I've just been talking about. The next thing is, what can we do about it? And I think that this is what we need to do. We need a plan that has a wide base of operations. Okay, if you have a plan that's just based on squirrel herding, okay, and the government doesn't like you making money from that, so they they pass some legislation about squirrel herding that you can't meet, then you're out of business. But if you do something with squirrels and something with cows and something with trees and something with fish, and then you do something with online gaming and you do something with, I don't know, manufacture of light bulbs, then you've got a very wide base of operations, and it's difficult for, well, it's much easier for you to survive if something befalls one of those industries or one of those businesses. So if we have a vertical pile of bricks, it's easy for somebody just to topple it over. However, a wide base made of bricks is not very high, it's much more stable. And the bricks are platforms, online platforms in this analogy, if you like. The bricks are platforms that meet our very exacting criteria. And if you want to build a castle to survive the ages, you don't use chalk or limestone, you use granite or basalt, you use something hard that's going to survive. You know, some of the castles that you can visit in the UK and other parts of Europe, 1,000 years old, 1,500 years old, because they were made to last. They weren't just a pile of bricks stuck together. And we also need a plan that has mortar between the bricks, and that's what I'm hoping to produce with Wealth Warriors. I'm hoping the Wealth Warriors will be the community, or so the community is the mortar between the bricks. So we have individually, we have very little control over the different platforms, but we can control how we interact with them and how we use them as a community. So this won't work if we select the wrong platforms, and it won't work for you if you don't commit to the community. I mentioned that lightly in passing now, but I'm going to talk in a few minutes about making a commitment to the community. It's not a massive community commitment. You don't have to sell your firstborn or anything like that, but there is a commitment to be made there, and then we'll see, why do you want to make that commitment? What are the benefits of doing that? So we're the system, the Wealth Warriors collectively, the community is the system that makes the whole thing work. Your commitment will be to maintain lines of sponsorship across all platforms. Now, I know getting started, there's going to be some of the people in one of your businesses that are upline to you, the next business they're downline to you, the next business they're crossline to you. So I understand it's a bit of a mess at the moment, but going forward, all of that's going to even out. And as we introduce new people, we want to introduce them to all of the platforms. And as we introduce new platforms, we want to introduce all of the people to all of those platforms. Don't worry if that doesn't make sense, it will before very long. So your commitment is to maintain lines of sponsorship. And I see so many times people think that the way to make money in an online business is to get in first and get some good people below you. Okay. We're all encouraged to believe that it's part of the system that's used to pull us apart what we've been building. If we just have a commitment to maintain lines of sponsorship, imagine you have 100 people in your business now, and we introduce a new platform. Okay, you slot your 100 people in. Nobody rushes to get in early to get to be top of the pile. Just everybody gets in exactly the same the place they should. Okay, then on day one of that new platform, in fact, it'll probably take a few days for everybody to sign up. So within the first couple of weeks, you're already halfway up the compensation plan, and you're a double red diamond, with stars and knobs on or whatever, and you're already making $2,000 a month within a few days of getting involved in a platform. So that's one of the benefits we're looking for. So we commit to maintain the lines of sponsorship. We commit to signing up on all the platforms we adopt. Get your personally introduced people to do the same. Let them know there's no benefit in trying to cut somebody out of the system. It weakens everybody. It diminishes everybody, and it doesn't produce any good results for anybody. Support your own people by learning about all of the platforms that we adopt. So if you get into 4 different platforms, learn about the 4 different platforms. You don't need to be an expert in them, but just learn a bit about them. And in particular, how people register and sign up and make their first deposits. And support and encourage all other Wealth Warriors. We're all in this together. I don't want to draw the analogy of, I'm Spartacus and I'm Spartacus, but we're all trying to achieve the same thing. And we're not enemies with each other. We're enemies of the system that has put us in this position. So what are the benefits? Why would you want to make these commitments that are counterintuitive in some sense? You know, we've been taught how to build networks, and there is a sense in which we say, well, get in first and get as many people below you as you can. So it's counterintuitive then to say, no, don't do that. When there's a new platform introduced, take it slowly, make sure it all gets signed up properly. So the benefit number one is never reset. You will never reset your growing finance to zero just because a platform fails. Twice in the last year, in fact, I would say probably 4 times in the last 2 years, I've been building one platform, and when that goes, all the money that I was getting from that platform goes. So I've reset back to zero. So benefit one gives you time to develop a long-term approach to building the product, the passive side of your business. You might say, well, it's only 4% a week, or it's 2% a month, or whatever it is. That's going to take a long time, and I don't know if the platform's going to be around for that long. Well, now you know that it will be, because even if that particular platform isn't around, then the benefit from building that gets passed on to the other platforms that we are developing. Benefit two, introduce your friends and family to a system, knowing they'll make money from the system. You will never have to feel guilt at letting people down and losing the money. Okay, so that's a tremendous benefit, I think. Benefit three, start every new platform with an existing community so that you never start a new platform from zero. You build on your team building success over a long period of time. And again, I think that's a tremendous benefit, that you don't have to start from the bottom. You bring a group with you, and they benefit, and so do you. Benefit four, only get involved with good solid platforms that have longevity, profitability, and reliability. And that's as a result of a platform meeting all of our criteria. Okay, we go through quite a lot of time and trouble and effort to vet these platforms, and you'd be surprised how many we turn away. I think we probably, over the last 3 months, I've probably looked now at about 45 different plans. About 4 of them I thought were good enough to get in, and I've since said, no, we're not doing those now, because having gotten in, they're expensive, they're complicated to set up, they don't have the rewards, they don't have the infrastructure. So I've spent thousands getting into these businesses to find out that they're not going to be suitable for us as a community. So, you know, you're welcome, as Jan, my friend, used to say. You know, and so we, as best we can, we find platforms that are going to work and be profitable and reliable. Benefit 5, learn strategies and techniques designed to multiply your income above and beyond what's provided by the platform. Because very often we can look at a platform and say, okay, so it does this and this and this, that's great. And then we say, but if I were to do this, take this out, move that over there, put that back in there, and, you know, introduce somebody else on my third line or whatever. Oh, look, I can double my money every month, or I can add extra income, you know. So we're always looking for other things we can do. And one of the things I always look for is, how can we take a platform and turn it into a compounding platform? Some of them are actually designed for that, and some of them aren't. So it's always interesting to try and figure out how we can compound using some of these platforms. So learn how to be the mortar between the bricks that keeps your business strong and profitable for a very long time to come. And the way to be the mortar between the bricks, of course, is if we're all saying and doing the same thing. If somebody comes to me for help about how to set up in a particular platform, or they come to you, they get exactly the same information, the same advice. There's no confusion. You know, when they talk to you about something, they hear exactly the same thing they hear from me. That's what it means to be the team, the mortar between the bricks. Benefit 6 is to have access to a training system that will help you duplicate your time and effort, which will multiply your income and financial security and decrease your workload. So you don't have to do it all yourself. As part of the community, you can bring people along to these presentations, and we'll tell people how the whole thing works. We'll introduce them to the platforms, and it doesn't matter over much what the platforms are, as long as they can make money and they're reliable. You don't need to love them. because your commitment is you're going to do them anyway. Okay, that's the commitment to be part of Wealth Warriors. Do them anyway, because and you may not understand why right now, but you know when the money's coming in and the security's there, and one platform's failed and we've replaced it with another platform, and you see the real benefits to the whole thing just continuing, you'll now I understand. You might get it right from the beginning, but I've not explained this to anybody yet who has got it right from the beginning. And like I say, I've had to fine tune this over several months because I didn't get it in the beginning. I had a vague idea of what should happen, and it's kind of crystallized now, but it didn't initially. So if you're struggling with it, don't worry about it. Just keep an open mind, and we'll move on. So about the platforms that we adopt, they've got to be available to the whole world, not excluded anywhere. Okay, I suppose if we had something that was excluded in just a couple of small Caribbean islands or something, we probably consider that's worth the risk. But if it was not allowed in big chunks of the world like the United States or Asia, you know, India, China, whatever, then we'd exclude that platform. That doesn't mean the platform doesn't work, and it doesn't mean you can't do it above and beyond what you're doing with the Wealth Warriors community. It just means that we won't be promoting it as a community. There's a number of businesses that I got into, as I said earlier, while I was checking them out. Some of them are very good. They're not suitable for the community, but I'm making some money at it. So I'm quite happy to continue with those, but they're not suitable for the community. And so you'll find yourself in the same position. Somebody else will promote something to you, you'll evaluate it and look at it, and you'll say, actually, yeah, that's worth $100 of my money. I'll give it a go. Okay, so nobody's saying not to do that. What I'm saying is we won't be promoting it to the community. It must have a unilevel compensation plan. And we, the leaders, had a great discussion about this a couple of weeks ago. And I just believe that is, and I probably can't quantify it or qualify it even. But I just believe that having a unilevel compensation plan makes this idea of duplicating the lines of sponsorship across all the platforms, it makes it doable. I think if you were to then try and include other structures of compensation plans, it would get so complicated, it just wouldn't work. Also, people must be able to join for free or get involved in a passive income program. So not just pay an entrance fee or pay a subscription or anything like that. If they do have to pay some money to get involved, it's got to be an investment in the passive income program for a very low entry cost. And I think that would be around about $100, $150, maybe $200. Okay, so we really don't want to exclude anybody just on the cost side of it. And the reason we want those first three criteria is because the combination of 1, 2, and 3 means that we can maintain the lines of sponsorship across all platforms. Okay, if you introduce somebody, if we've got 4 platforms on the go, and you introduce somebody, and 3 of them are free and 1 of them costs $100, then the people you introduce can sign up in all 4 of those. You can sign up in 3 that are free, and the one that's $100. And you might say, well, they haven't got $100, but they're looking at making some money from online businesses, so they must have some money that they can invest. Otherwise, there's pointless them even looking at it. And if they can't do it with this, they can't do it with anything. Another criteria is that those platforms must be based on real world applications, not just a money game or a shell game. And I've looked at so many just in the last week where they're quite clearly money games. It's you know, they're not going to last. It's just waiting for the rug to be pulled. In fact, they've probably invented a self-pulling rug for some of these platforms because it's so predictable what's going to happen with them. If you understand the mathematics of it, you could probably predict the date on which some of these businesses are going to fail, because it is all based on mathematics. When you've got a curve going this way and another curve going that way, and when they cross over, within a couple of hours of those 2 curves crossing each other, then they all disappear, because that's the point at which they've got hold of the maximum amount of your money, and so there's no real benefit to staying around any longer. So it's interesting. to be able to see those things happening in real time. Another criteria, we must be able to verify the company's legal status and its involvement in real world activities. Okay, and I should maybe add another one in there, because something I've seen with a lot of platforms I'm looking at now is that they are insured. They insure your investment. And if they don't insure it, then they work with a company that if you were to lose money, if that business did fail, you can go and claim your losses back from this company that's all registered with different European governments and so on. So I might even include that in my criteria. It's not yet, but it's certainly something I should consider. If possible, we must be able to meet the CEO or the business owner, and having met him, we must have gotten all of our questions answered. And some of you had recent experiences where we met the CEO, and at the end of it, we asked all our questions, and at the end of it, our questions still hadn't been answered. So, let's be a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Determined to get our questions answered. The compensation plan must be viable and sustainable. Okay, the compensation plan, it's easy to see that. You just take out a pen and paper, write the numbers down, see where the money's coming from, where it's going to, where it's going, and you can soon see if it's viable and sustainable. And the membership of Wealth Warriors must all be able to get behind the project. So we're going to avoid things like gambling projects, money lending, arms dealing, all sorts of things that have, questionable real world applications. Now, that doesn't mean, again, that you can't do those things yourself. Of course you can, but Wealth Warriors itself as a community won't be promoting things that are questionable. Okay, I know some people say, well, gambling's not a sin, but other people say it is, so let's stay away from it. There's more than enough platforms out there that we can select half a dozen for what we're doing, for what we need. We don't need to be in everything. We don't need to grab everything. We just need to get the things we want need to fit our criteria, not bend our criteria because we fancy doing that platform. We don't need to do that. So it's planned for us to hold regular Zoom meetings, and I'm going to propose maybe two of the calls like this twice a week, one in UK time and one in Eastern Standard Time in America. We're going to ask people to pre-register for Zoom calls. I don't want it to be an open meeting. You'll see why in a minute. At these Zoom meetings, we'll introduce the concept of platform independent community, or another way of looking at it is community-centric business. Okay, so we're not particularly interested in the platform. The platform's got to be able to make some money, but we're not really bothered about what it is or what it does, as long as it produces some income. What's more important is the community. And I know people won't get that. You probably won't get that for a long time, but keep coming back to these meetings, keep looking at it, keep trying to understand what we're trying to do, because this really is the future where we can have the security we're looking for. So we give a very brief overview of each platform, which I'll do in a second. And we'll also promote the platform-specific Zoom calls provided by the company behind each platform. We have a Telegram group called Wealth Warriors. Most of you by now have had a look in there. The main means of communication, the chat group, if you like, within the community is in the Wealth Warriors Open Forum. And in the Open Forum, members can ask questions about the community, but the group is separated into a number of topics, and that's one for each platform adopted. And it says no chat is allowed. That sounds very dictatorial, but if we can keep the chat just in the open forum, and then just leave the platform-specific topics for information about those platforms. So it'll be things like when the company Zoom calls are on, a change to the compensation plan, a message from the CEO, those sorts of things. Okay, and also, of course, you can post useful and informative articles if they're not found elsewhere. But what we don't need to do is to be part of the the company Telegram group for that platform and copy and paste whatever the company writes in their platform, in their Telegram group, copy it into ours. There's no need for that. People should be checking the company Zoom Telegram groups anyway. So we don't want to clutter our stuff up with company stuff. Yeah, so we'll promote the Zoom calls. All members sign up on all platforms, and you haven't got to be active. Just because you sign up in the platform doesn't mean you're active in all of them. It's just to maintain the lines of sponsorship. You can become active in them later. We advise to enter 1 or 2 platforms at the minimum level and initially build from there, but it might just be one. In the open forum, we'll provide a weekly schedule combining all Zoom meetings. No, we won't. Sorry, I thought I'd taken that out and I haven't. So we don't give out links for the Telegram group. If you want your people added to the group, add them. You have the ability to do that yourself. I often have people send me messages saying, I can't add somebody to the group. Can you do it for me? Well, if you can't add them to the group, I can't. It's probably because your friend has set his privacy settings or security settings so high that nobody can add him. So if you can't add him, neither can I. Don't invite spammers to the group, please. You agree to no chatting of various topics. You must use your real name in your Telegram username. If you don't have a Telegram username, go through the process, through settings to create a Telegram username. There are a couple of people in the Telegram group at the moment that don't have a proper username. I will be removing them. It's only because they're friends of friends that I haven't, so I kind of know who they are. But yeah, Telegram usernames are essential. If people are negative or disparaging, if they go into the chat group to vent their feelings or to complain or moan, okay, people say, well, when I delete their comments, they say, well, so I'm not allowed to speak the truth. You can absolutely speak the truth. Just go somewhere else and do it, please. It's not for my chat groups. My chat groups are for people to support and encourage each other, pass useful information, not for people to go in there and moan and say, oh, the website's down, or, oh, it's not working for me, or that's rubbish. There's nothing to do with me. I don't want to hear it, and most people don't. So that's not what these chat groups are for. And I often say to people, if you want to have a chat group like that, start it yourself. I'm sure you'll have plenty of people come and join you. Consistent negative or disparaging comments may cause you to be removed from the group. Spamming will get you removed from the group immediately with no warning. And this includes enticing people through private messages. So if you're constantly saying, oh, can I private message you? Can I private message you? Can I private message you? Then I'll start looking into those conversations and find out why somebody's constantly private messaging people. Okay. We have had things in the past where people were being encouraged to go and join other things through private messages. Okay, so promotion of other opportunities will not be tolerated. If you want to bring an opportunity to the attention of the leaders, send a private message to any of the admins or send it to me. So the platforms we've adopted so far are Property Robots. Some of you know about that. Is crowdfunding the manufacture of pre-sold house printing robots. It's exciting. Daisy stroke Endotech is at Forex AI Trading. In fact, there's two things. The Daisy part is crowdfunding. And at the moment, we're crowdfunding Endotech. And Endotech is the Forex AI Trading. And it's historically returning 4% per week. In fact, I've got a little video for that, so I'll probably show that to you in a minute. Aficoman Finances. This is one of the reasons people have to register for this, because this isn't open to the general public. This is something that only members can take advantage of. So you must be a member for me to come here for me to tell you about it. And if you want to join it, you need to become a member. And Equinox Trust Limited is investing in Forex and cryptocurrency trading. So let's have a little look at some of these. So Property Robots is to crowdfund the manufacture of robots that build a house shell in 48 to 72 hours. The company already has orders over $450 million. Construction companies buy them, 10, 20, 30 at a time. The manufacturing, I say manufacturing, it's actually the assembly line is in Manchester. We're going to expand that. There's going to be assembly lines all over the world. The robots, when they're sold, make a profit. Profits return to your back office daily and can be withdrawn at any time, but your capital is tied up for the duration of the plan, which at the moment all plans are running for 168 days. And the way to compound is to buy more plans with your profits. It's a unit level compensation plan. So they double in 168 days. And in fact, all of the different levels that you can invest in, all double in 168 days. That's going to finish on Christmas Day, on Monday, that's going to finish. And the earlier ones will double in a longer period of time. But that can also change. That period of time in which it will double varies based on how many robots we're selling, how much money we're getting in the door. Again, as business goes up, that time will go down. So it's entirely likely that in a few months' time, your money will be doubling every 90 days, 60 days, 70 days, whatever. There are 14 different levels to our differential bonuses, which is very, very exciting. If you understood the plan in the last business we were all in together, with the differential bonus levels, this is exactly the same. One-time rank achievement bonuses as well, anything from $250 to $4 million. So that's just one-off, don't get too excited. 4 million won't last you more than, well, probably last me quite a long time. Career builder bonuses up to 300,000 per month. So they start at $250 a month. And they just keep making up ways for you to earn more and more money. Once you qualify for one of these career builder bonuses, you get it every single month for 6 months. So you don't have to re-qualify every month. But then as long as you re-qualify within that 6-month period, you get it again for a further 6 months. So I'm just wondering how long this video is. Let's give it a go. Oh. The best laid plans of mice and men, eh?
The world is in a housing crisis. USA alone is short of 4 million houses. That is a $1.6 trillion untapped market. The traditional way of building is very slow, and the huge shortage of skilled labor makes the problem even worse. Amherst 3DCP. After more than 5 years and millions of dollars invested in research and development, R&D, we have developed the best 3DCP robots in the world. Our 3DCP robots can build a small house in 48 to 72 hours. The ultimate solution to the global housing shortage. Build more houses faster. With our 3DCP and other technologies, we can build up to 20 to 30 times faster. For example, a 250-meter square house skeleton structure can be built in 48 to 72 hours. This means we can build more affordable homes, build cheaper, less workers are needed on site, no forms for concrete, no steel. We use faster hardening cement. Construction companies can save up to 35% on costs. Full training is provided for 3 people when someone buys a 3DCP robot from Amherst 3DCP Limited. Greener and more eco-friendly. We do not use steel, iron, or Portland cement during construction, and using geopolymer cement, we can produce houses that are up to 90% more eco-friendly. Because we do not use steel-supported walls or any other forms, upon completion of the project, we have very little waste. Build more houses, make more profit, and solve the housing shortage in your city. Amherst 3DCP. For more information, contact the person who shared this video with you.
Okay, so that's the product side, if you like, of the Property Robots. Property Robots is the crowdfunding where we supply the money for for the robots to be ordered, shipped to Manchester, assembled, and shipped on to the customer. The managing director of Camhurst went to see several African housing ministries last month and came back with $450 million worth of orders. So I think that's 1,700 robots, and he's only made a dent in Africa. He's only visited a few countries. There's going to be so much demand for this technology. It's phenomenal. It's we're going to be crowdfunding that for 25 years. Okay, the next platform is Daisy stroke Endotech, investing in AI trading for passive trading income. So you put some money in the pot and it ends up with Endotech. So you put some money into the Daisy pot, which gets lent to as crowdfunding to Endotech, but it also gives you a stake in Endotech. Now, Endotech in a couple of weeks' time, I think about 7 weeks' time, is going to cease being available to people like you and I. It's going to close its doors and become a hedge fund. If you're already in the door, even with $100, you can increase your holding, and you can can continue to withdraw on into the future. If you're not already in Endotech by then, you can't get in. However, that's not the end of the world, because as soon as Endotech is finished, in fact, I think before then, in the next few weeks, Daisy is going to turn its attention to the next thing that is going to be crowdfunding. So we continue to put money into Daisy as a crowdfunding exercise, and we end up with a stake in another company that produces a passive income for us. Okay, so at the moment there are 10 tiers of investment from $100 to $512,000. You can't register for free in this one. It costs about $150 to get started. Quite a lot of that is on upfront fees and things like that. But once they're paid, you're in the door and you continue to earn on into the future. An average of 4% per week profit. Now, that's what they advertise. That's not what I've seen in my experience, but I have been back through their recent history, and it's not unusual. The whole thing over the whole 2-year period, it's around about 4% per week. So if you multiply out 4% per week over a 3, 4, 5-year period, compounding, you'll see it actually gets to be quite a large amount of money. So it's not something where you would put $100 in now and expect to take some money out next week. It's going to be a longer term project than that. So there's a limited opportunity to get in at the crowdfunding stage. Shortly after, it's going to be an IPO. So that will produce even more benefits to those of us that are in the fund. There are no fees to join or withdraw, except it costs $150, but you end up with that going into your trading fund, and paying your fees, the commissions to upline and so on. It's available in the US. You need specific instructions how to set it up, so it's a bit complicated, but once in, you can add to your funds later. Commissions are paid on your direct initial deposits and profits. It doesn't go down generation after generation. It's just the people that you introduce. Yeah, so if you compound $200 for 4% for 5 years, it gives you back a lot of dollars.
Have you ever wondered why the rich keep getting richer? Money makes money, and the money that makes money makes more money. This quote by Benjamin Franklin has a deeper meaning. The rich have access to professional financial instruments that help them multiply their assets. So, no matter if the market is going up or down, they would always make money. What if I told you that you can now have access to professional trading tools that were only available to institutions and accredited investors so far? Endotech is a company that provides professional cryptocurrency trading tools based on AI technology. Some of the trading strategies of Endotech have a track record of 3 years and have produced up to 1,500% annually. This very innovative technology is being made available to the masses through DAISY, decentralized AI system. With only $100, you can start using strategies that were reserved to institutional clients till now. Not only that, you can participate in a unique crowdfunding project that helps to take this technology to the next level. If you love technology, you'll love this part. DAISY is managed by a Tron smart contract that is transparent and can't be manipulated or hacked. Tron is a blockchain-based decentralized cryptocurrency that allows fast and cost-effective transactions. All you need to participate is DAISY in a Tron wallet. Your Trons will be distributed between DAISY Crowd and DAISY Fund. The smart contract will automatically allocate funds to DAISY Crowd for crowdfunding and the referral plan. Up to 46% will be paid to members through the referral plan. There are 3 types of commissions members can earn. Here's the best part. 5% of Endotech equity will be distributed across all DAISY members. Some of the funds will be allocated to DAISY Fund for professional AI trading. 70% of profits will be rewarded back to members and can be withdrawn at any time. DAISY is a unique combination of passive income from AI trading and crowdfunding. DAISY, together we create history. Click on the link below to secure your top position.
Okay, so that's DAISY stroke Endotech. The third platform is Equinox Trust. And this is basically an investment platform. They've got everything that you could possibly need as an investor in the platform. We're not the thing that attracted me about it, and you know, having registered, you might say, well, I want to get into cannabis farming or gold or forex trading via PAM. Okay, the reason I brought this to the table is because of the cryptocurrency trading plans. So I will talk about those in just a second. One of the things that I like, though, is that they have their own block card, MasterCard. So you can, having made profit with these people, there's no long drawn-out system required to get your money and go and spend it. You off-ramp it straight from the platform onto your MasterCard and go and spend it. Okay, no middlemen, no long. I mean, I've got quite a convoluted system for getting my money out to my Visa card. This will just be one simple move and straight onto the card. You can also, if you want to be a serious investor, you've got access to capital investment advice, advisors, people who advise about gold and oil and this sort of thing. So you can become a proper, what I call a proper investor if you want to. They're fully regulated and the invested funds are protected by insurance. And they also deal with retirement and pension fund investments packages. So again, you can get hold of one of their advisors, go through your pension, see what you can use your pension for or put into your pension to really make the most of your 401k or whatever other pension system you have, pension fund you have. Okay, so there are 4 cryptocurrency investment plans. This one is called the starter plan. This is where I envisage most of us will start. It's between $100 and $9,000, which is why I think most of us will start. Though I really wouldn't recommend anybody getting into any of these programs and saying, I like this so much, I'm going to put $20,000 in or $100,000. Just start with a minimum and build it up from there. Build something from nothing. Don't try and grab all the shiny objects in one go. So start with $100. Your daily ROI is going to be 1.75%, and that lasts for 24 hours. So after 24 hours, you have to hit the button again to invest your $101.75. Okay, if you introduce somebody, you get 7% on what they deposit. If they introduce somebody, you get 3%. If they introduce somebody, you get 1%, and that's as far as it goes. So every day you would go here, push the button to reinvest your money. And if you did that, you can see that compound calculator printout there. Started with $100 at 1.75 daily for 1 year. Get daily compounding, and you end up with $56,000 after a year. Okay, now you probably won't do that, you'll probably, you'll get to a few $1,000s and start taking it out, and that'll cut down on your compounding. But even so, if you can put in $100 and over the next year you could take out $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, that's going to be a good investment, I think. Also, we will be teaching that the way to do this is to get back your $100 as quickly as you can, and then when you make profit after that, you take half of your profit out, and you put half of your profit back in. So your compounding won't be as it's described there in the compound calculator printout. Okay, so it could be you could decide to ignore all the advice and do that, but that's not what we're going to be teaching people. So the second plan is the advanced plan. And this is $9,000 to $16,000. You get 2.5% per day for 5 days. And you can see the little spreadsheet thing at the bottom there. $9,000 in will get you 10,125 out. $16,000 in will get you $18,000 out. So in 5 days, if you start with 16,000 for 5 days, you make $18,000. So you make $2,000 profit every 5 days. So, if you've got that sort of money, that could be a very nice little salary, couldn't it? $8,000 a month. But put yourself in a position where if something goes wrong, you're not going to cry over losing your money. And again, referral bonus 7%, 3%, 1%. The next one is the gold plan from 16,000 to 30,000. You get 4% a day, okay, for 8 days, which means that if you start with 16,000, you end up with 21. If you start with 30,000, you end up with nearly 40,000. So every 8 days, you can make $10,000 if you go to the top of the chart. The referral bonus is 7%, 1%, 3%, 1%. And the premium plan is $30,000 or upwards. You get 35% per month. So every month you have to go back in and reinvest. If you introduce somebody who takes a premium plan, you get 10%, and then below that you get 3% and 1%. So somebody taking out putting $100,000 in would end up with $135,000 after 1 month. And again, that could be a nice little income, $35,000 a month. If somebody's got $100,000 that is sat there not doing anything, then that's the way to go. But be assured that you're not going to. So put yourself in a position where you're not going to lose money by making sure to take all your profit out, or take out your seed capital as quickly as you can. So that's Equinox Trust. This one, Afikoman Finances, is the one that is a private club, and it's made available to our community members. We're not allowed to advertise this and put information out on the internet in general. It's just for members. They have over 100 investment plans, all sorts of different things you can invest in. But again, I've narrowed this down to their crypto assets plans. That's the reason I'm talking to you about it. But having joined with Afikoman Finances, you can take advantage of all these other things. You have all the benefits of being an institutional investor. You can invest in the Polkadot ecosystem. There's so many different portfolios, hedge funds, so many things you can invest in, but I'm just going to talk about the crypto plans. So there are 3 cryptocurrency investment plans. The equity plan starts at $200, goes to to 10,000, and you get 1.8% per day. And you might say, well, with the other one, it's only $100 to get started, and I get 1.75. Why should I do both? Because that's the whole point of what we're trying to do. If you've got half your money in one and half your money in the other, and something happens to one of them, then you've still got half your money working for you. You can still recover. You don't reset back to 0. Okay, so this is 1%, and this is for 5 days. So 1.8% for 5 days. So if we start with $200, after 5 days, you'll have $18. Is that right? Yes, it is. Okay. So then, this is how you compound now. You put that $218 back in, and then you end up with, I don't know, $240. So then you put $240 back in, Okay, and pretty soon you can work out on a compound calculator how quickly that can all mount up. So I've just shown with all of these, I've just shown one cycle. Apart from the very first one, I showed you several different, the whole 1 year compounded. So that's the equity plan. The professional plan is from 10,000 to 50,000. You get 3.5% a day, and so starting with 10,000 a day, you get 11,750 after 5 days. Sorry, that's wrong. That should be 10 days. So in that case, you would get 3,500. That would be 13,500. I apologize. I knew I would make a mistake because I rushed at the last minute. And then the platinum plan is $50,000 upwards, 6% a day for 15 days. Okay, now this is getting into the realms of crazy. So be careful. Don't, normally we say things that are returning this sort of income, we can't trust it. So if you're going to wander into this realm, just be careful. Make sure you protect yourself. Get your money back out as quickly as you can. So, but if you can do that, then it's really good money. 15 days, you almost double your $100,000 investment there. Well, in fact, you almost double it, whatever investment you made. 6% a day for 15 days. It's just crazy. Doubles your money every 16 days or something like that. Okay, so the reason I'm showing you these plans is for the one we looked at just now, the $200 one. That's where I think we should all start. Build it up from there. Take your money out, then you're playing with free money, and then you can work your way up through. So you've got something to do with this now for the next 2 or 3 years. And when you do that, then you can be making really good money. But don't let it cost you anything. Build your profits to that level. Okay, this is their performance highlights. This is what they've done over the last or their targets over the last 12 months, what they set and what they did, how they achieved it. Okay, so they set a target to return 1.6% to 6%, and they've consistently done that. So what do you do now? Get the referral links from all the platforms from the person who invited you to this presentation. Some of you already have the referral links for some of these platforms. And if you haven't, get them from the person who introduced you, get them from your upline. Register in all the opportunities and make a note of all your referral links. I have a little text document on my screen. So when somebody wants all of my links, I just send them that text document. Pass these links on to your existing frontline members or to people that you invite to see this presentation. Make a minimum payment into all opportunities. If you cannot do this, select the project that interests you the most and make minimum payments to get that platform started. Ask your introducer to be added to the Wealth Warriors Telegram group. Okay, you don't need to ask me or any of the admins. Just ask the person who's introduced you, they can get you in there. Attend the Zoom call or watch the video for each platform that you have added funds to your account. There will be Zoom calls listed in the different topics in the Wealth Warrior Telegram group. As new platforms are added, make sure to get the referral link for your upline and join as quickly as possible. Not a mad dash, but you don't want to keep people hanging around that are downline from you. You don't want them waiting weeks to get their links. Pass your referral link to your existing team. Get on a presentation for that new platform as soon as possible. So a quick reminder, we're building a solid foundation on which we can base our financial futures. We only want to work with companies that are in it for the long term, and we only want to work with companies that are above board. We want to build a large asset, which in turn will deliver us a large income, whatever that asset is. We're not bothered what the asset is, as long as it produces the income. Only platforms that meet our rigorous criteria are even considered. And as I said before, 4 that I joined recently that met our criteria, subsequently we're not promoting simply because they were too expensive to get started, they were too complicated to get started, and a couple of other things. We want to apply our rules to this industry to achieve our outcomes, not be at the mercy of any one company. Okay, so bear in mind we're striking out on our own here. We're doing things our own way. You've never seen anything like this before. You know, people have not been asked to sign up in every single platform that the community promotes. And some of you won't do that. That's fine. That's fine. But you can't expect to have all the benefits of being part of the community if you don't meet your commitment to being part of the committed community. And that's not a threat. That's just stating the obvious. If we promote 4 platforms, you only sign up in one of them. The reason we promote 4 platforms is to give you security. And if one platform fails and it happens to be the only one that you've invested in, of course, you won't have the benefit of us promoting 3 other platforms because you didn't join those 3 other platforms. You're not really part of the community. And that's fine. If all you want to do is join in with us and just be in 1 or 2 of the platforms, that's absolutely fine. But it's not really going to do you that much good because you're still in the same position as you've always been, where if something happens to that platform, you're snookered. Whereas being part of the community, we would all work together to recover from that. Finally, it's important to remain safe on the internet and in the world of online opportunities at all times. Do not share your password or other credentials with anyone for any of the platforms you get involved in, whether it's these that we're promoting or any others. Where it's available, set up your 2FA on your accounts with 2-factor authentication. If you don't know what this is or how to do it, Google 2FA. Okay, I do despair sometimes. I'm in a chat group and I hear people say, oh, how do I set up 2FA on this? Well, Google it. That's what Google's for. Back up your passwords and your 2FA codes in a secure location. Make sure the executors of your will or your beneficiaries have access to this information in the event of your death. As we talked earlier about leaving a legacy, wouldn't it be a shame to build up a huge legacy to leave? And then when something happens to you, nobody knows you've got accounts for different things. Nobody knows where your passwords are. Nobody knows where your Bitcoin wallet is. Okay, so make sure that all of that information is written down and secure. Personally, I put it all in a safe. And if you haven't got a safe, then maybe get one. Plan to have a big business, plan to have a lot of money. And then say, well, if I had I don't know, 10 Bitcoin, if I was worth 10 Bitcoin, would I leave it on in my exchange account with Binance, where the government can get hold of it, or would I put it in a cold storage device? Now, having put it in a cold storage device, would I then put it somewhere safe where if the house burns down, that's going to survive? I don't know. Just start thinking like a wealthy person, because one day you will be. I keep losing my cursor. Develop a strategy for each of the platforms you're involved with and stick to your strategy. The difficult thing with a strategy is having the discipline right at the very beginning to stick to it, because your plan is to have millions of dollars, but today's part of the strategy is to reinvest that $2.21. You think, well, will it really make a big difference? Maybe not, but if you don't do it, then if you don't do it when you're meant to today, when are you going to do it? When are you going to start? You've got to start at the beginning. You've got to start with small amounts, because that's what builds it into large amounts. So have your strategy and have the discipline to stick to your strategy. Just because the company running a platform introduces a special offer doesn't mean it will fit your strategy. Often it's a sign the company wants members to deposit a lot of money quickly. And we've seen this. It's very often a warning sign. The company wants us to put in lots of money. We can't withdraw for 7 days. We can't withdraw for 30 days or whatever. So they get lots of money in, and that's kind of the point at which they'll decide to take the money and run. Okay, so if one of the platforms does offer a special offer, or 2 for the price of 1, or send me $1,000 today, we'll send you $2,000 tomorrow. I've seen all these things. Okay, just don't jump at it yourself. Wait, think about it. Talk to us about it. Talk in the community about it. Because if the platform's gonna pull the rug, if it's gonna go bust, then we don't want to be adding more money. at that point, we want to be saying, no, we'll save our money. Thank you very much. It's bad enough we're going to lose whatever's in there without adding to it. So don't run after the new shiny things. Be more discerning. Do not use or invest money that you cannot afford to lose ever on anything. Yeah, if there's something that you're going to do or buy or whatever, if you're thinking of buying a new car, then don't use money that you cannot afford to lose. All programs have a shortest route to break even. Find out what it is for your chosen programs and withdraw your initial stake money as soon as you reach that point. And then what I recommend is after that, do a 50-50 with withdrawing your profit and reinvesting your profit. Personally, although I give that advice, I don't do that myself. I like to give my profits a little bit of a boost, so I reinvest 100% for a month or a couple of months. Because it builds up that fund much more quickly, and if I lose $200, then that's the risk I'm prepared to take. I'm not suggesting you should take that risk. I'm saying that we should be telling people, take out half your money, put back in half your money to allow the asset to grow, but also you take out some profit as well. So welcome to Wealth Warriors, financial freedom fighters. Hopefully you enjoyed that presentation. It was different than anything we've done before. Everything's kind of clarified in my mind what we need to do, where we need to go. I'm excited for the journey. Hopefully you are too, because if you are, I'd love to have you guys on board and some of your friends as well. I think this is the answer to what's been plaguing the industry for the last 5, 6, 7 years. So I'm going to allow everybody to unmute themselves and give me your thoughts. Or just, come and say hi. Wish everybody Merry Christmas, whatever you want to do, just come and speak.
Thank you, Andy.
Hey, Sue Ellen, how you doing?
Merry Christmas.
Okay.
We've been missing each other over Telegram for a little while. I do
Yes.
apologise. I've been massively busy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
Sorry, Terry, can you mute yourself until it's time for you to speak? In fact, I'll do it. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, go on, Sue Ellen, sorry.
No, I was going to say I've sorted it now. Direct with Adam, so.
Oh, brilliant.
Awesome.
Good. Did you wish him happy birthday? Is it birthday? It's his birthday today.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
ready.
Excellent. So you're all sorted. So what do you think of the presentation? Does it make sense?
Yes. Yes, it did.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. Okay. Thanks, Andy. I learned a lot from Mr. Nice. Thank you, Mr. Nice. Always good to hear things from you. Where in the world are you, Mr. Nice? I know you told me before, but I forget.
Thank you, Mr. Andy. I really appreciate this Zoom tonight. It was awesome. Hopefully, maybe we can bring another downliners that will come and listen to this Zoom. It will be great, so they can decide their own decision. They can make their own decision to join if they want to join. So I'm looking forward to know about this last business because I don't know about it. But hopefully you'll give me a link and learn about it. Thank you so much. It was a great presentation. Yeah. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for that. Thanks for that. Yeah, I'm certainly going to put this up on YouTube. The videos I've been posting lately, I've been asked to keep as private, but this one's going to go public. So hopefully you guys are all okay with that. And I'll post the link in the Wealth Warriors group and also in the old VECPA group and the old CMB group as well, just so that people can get to see it. Just in case you're wondering, the baseline line of sponsorship is Property Robots. So we're going to encourage people that have gotten into property robots, then that's the line of sponsorship we want to replicate in all the other platforms. Just throw that in there. So Walter, was that vastly different from what I've said before, or what
No.
was mentioned now about Equinox from Walter? Oh, okay.
I would say it was, but yeah, I would say it was different.
I think so, because when I tried, I did some presentations previously, and it kind of, I felt like I wasn't grasping it all, and it all suddenly crystallized in my mind about 10 or 12 days ago, and I suddenly realized exactly how big this is. You know, there have been problems around the industry for a number of years. Some we've created ourselves. You know, we follow leaders whose philosophy is to get into a platform, build it fast, take all the commissions out as quickly as we can before the company fails. And just by doing that, we're actually causing the company to fail. You know, not all of them, but certainly a large proportion of them. So we're responsible for some of the failures, but it could well be they were set up that way in the first place. Yeah, sorry, Walter, you didn't understand what you posted there, but
We can talk after.
okay, cool. Cool. Okay, guys. Well, Mike, good, Andy, great presentation. Happy Christmas, you. Thanks, Michael. Very much appreciated. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. You're are you in Ireland or Northern Ireland? Can't remember. Either way, you guys are going to party over Christmas. I'm sure it's going to be fun. Ireland, yeah, brilliant. From James, yes, yeah, you can speak, James. I think you just unmute yourself. Don't think there's any restrictions on anybody not being allowed to speak. Do you know how to unmute yourself, James? Yeah. Down the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, there's a microphone and it'll have a red line through it. So you just click on that and it'll unmute. There you go.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, yes.
So my name is James. I kind of joined late. And so I want to ask, where is your company located?
Well, we don't have a company. We're a community of like-minded people. We're not a company.
Okay. So is there some kind of security
To do with
towards our investment, towards the investment?
okay,
Is
well,
there kind of like government security to show that our money is safe and stuff like that? Is there something like that?
yes, well, what we've been talking about here is as a community dealing with 4 different platforms, 4 different online businesses. And
Yes, of course.
they
I
have different types of security for them. We try to weed out platforms and businesses that are unreliable. So yeah, as far as we're aware, we've done that. So if you were to sign up with these 4 different platforms underneath somebody who so I'm not sure who invited you to come and look at this.
Yeah, I was invited by LNC.
By
LNC. Sue Ellen, sorry.
oh, Sue Ellen. Okay,
Sue
so
Ellen.
yeah, so you get the link off of Sue Ellen, and then when you
So-
sign up on each of them.
Yeah, I understand, but my question is, how are we sure that we are investing with the right people that are not going to abscond with our money when we invest our hard-earned money into their
Yeah, well,
businesses?
that's what I've
Sure. Is there some form of security to probably is there is a regulated organization, a recognized organization, stuff like that. I don't know if you get my question.
I do, yes. I tried to go through in the presentation each of the different platforms and what the different security arrangements are. You know, so some of them are registered with the local government for these services. Some of them are your funds are insured. So, you know, we've checked out the insurance side of what they do. I think the answer is you can never be 100% certain, because there's always things that can happen. Even perfectly legitimate businesses can fail.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, of course, businesses can fail, but I think it's always better if we do our research to make sure we're on the safe side before we just invest.
absolutely, and without trying to big myself up too much, James, that's what I do. I wouldn't bring a platform to this type of meeting unless it had been researched pretty thoroughly. I wouldn't say I've done 100%
Okay,
research on
okay.
all of these, but I've done a lot of research into them. But you know, you can do your own research as well.
Pretty well.
It's all available there on the websites. If you want to drop me a line, I'll show you what I did with all the different companies, who I spoke to, and this sort of thing. So with Property Robots, we've actually had the CEO on a call and grilled him for about an hour, all the different questions we wanted answered. I haven't done the same with the two investment platforms, because they are how can I put it? They're proper investment platforms. They, you know, people go to work in a pinstripe suit and this sort of thing. So it's proper companies, not the CEO up on stage in his Italian suit and no socks, you know, looking cool. It's proper, what I'd say, Wall Street type business, or City of London type business. And then Daisy, we've had quite a long discussion with a lot of the leaders in Daisy, and that again is a decentralized system. There's no company; it's a community of people.
Okay, I get that.
So, and all of your money in Daisy is protected by smart contracts. So, I
On the
would
blockchain.
say that we haven't done 100% of the checks that we can do. We've done a lot of the checks that we're confident the money, you know, our investment money will be protected. But you know, you don't have to leave it all to me, James. You can do your own research as well.
Yeah, definitely. So
Yeah.
thanks so much. I
No,
appreciate it.
you're more than welcome. And if you do get started with this, you've got a great leader with Sue Ellen. She'll look after you and make sure that this really works for you.
Yeah, and to say I love your presentation. It was very convincing and I really loved it. Thank you.
Oh, well, thanks for that feedback. I appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, guys, so if there are no more questions, I'm going to close the meeting down. It's been an hour and a half, and as you know, I don't like to do more than an hour, but I just felt that for the first one out the gate, it was hard to keep it down to an hour. So hopefully you found that useful. I will post this video later, so feel free to share it with people. I'll do the same again on, what day is it today? Thursday. I'll do the same again on Wednesday evening next week, UK 8 o'clock UK time, and I'll figure out a time to do one in Eastern Standard Time. But that won't be until after the Christmas festivities. I was going to do one this evening in about another 3 hours time, but my throat's just started. I won't make another whole. I won't make another whole presentation. So that's it for me. That's it for Christmas. So have a wonderful Christmas. Have a prosperous and exciting 2024. Not too exciting, obviously, but exciting enough. And I'm happy to be on this journey with you guys. I'm very excited about it. and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. If you, as ever, if you've got any questions, anything I can help with, then by all means, drop me a line in Telegram. You've got my details. Drop me a line in Wealth Warriors, and we'll get your questions answered, get things moving. So God bless.
Thank you, Andy. Have a good Christmas.
Thanks, Sue Ellen. Great to see you. Have a great Christmas yourself.
Thank
Right.
you.
Right, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thanks, Pamela.
Bye.
God
Bye,
bless.
Pam. Bye,
You're gonna,
everyone.
you're
Bye,
gonna stop the
Sue.
recording and then we'll boot people?
Sorry, Walter.
You're gonna stop the recording and then we'll boot people?
Oh, okay.
Well, I wanted to be clear before